and welcome back to the Isle of Siptah. And you may have guessed from the title of this video that there's rather bad news in the offing. This is where my base used to be, this patch of land. My little castle was out in the water. This is where the encampment was, the beach encampment. And that notch in the rocks is where my tavern used to be. What happened was that I was levelling up one of my guys. I'd taken him for a fight up in the Stygian camp just up there. I can't remember its name. But he got, knocked into a corner. I went to help him. And the game crashed. Well, fair enough, it happens occasionally. But when I tried to restart it afterwards, the loading bar would complete, but the game wouldn't kick in at all. I tried loads and loads of times to try and get the game to go again. And then I tried loads and loads of times to try and, recover the memory or whatever in the PS5. I explored all the options, repairing the hard drive, things like that. Nothing worked. I did spend most of a Saturday afternoon trying to recover the game. Nothing was happening, and I thought, okay, well, take it on the chin. You can start again, start from scratch. And I thought it wouldn't take too long to get back to, where I was before. It'll take me a little bit of time because I was level 60, obviously. I was quite old in the game. But I thought, it's not going to be the end of the world. So I started a new game from scratch. I built myself a new fortress over here. Quite a fine fortress. I put it on the edge here because I thought this would make it easier for purges to appear. Because there's loads of bloody room here now, game, isn't there? There's loads of room for a Stygian camp. And everything was going okay. I sweated it out. I built this fortress with this curtain wall. I'll show you. So that fortress is basically a copy of the old one. And then I've just built this curtain wall around the outside to fence in this bit of land, give me a bit more room. And I was very, very busy recruiting more thralls. Here's my little training camp. And I had about 20-25 thralls. Doing quite well. I'd built up my resources somewhat. I put the sweat in. And then I had a purge, and the purge worked okay. Weirdly, the purge fort materialised over there. That's where the Stygian camp appeared. But when I closed down the session, the game crashed again, and it seemed to crash on the disconnecting from game screen. And I didn't worry about it too much. I figured, it was not going to happen twice. I'm not going to lose everything twice. And you're right, I didn't lose everything twice. I just lost every single one of my thralls. And loads of my kit. And it's really quite odd. For example, round the corner here, I built a little flotsam tavern and a stable, and they vanished. All the thralls I had, as I said, they all went. About 20 to 25 of them. And things seem to revert to like earlier positions in a weird way. Like I brought out some benches and put them against this wall, but now they've come back inside. So for example, this smelter, this furnace, had been outside. Well, that's where I originally put it, and then I put it outside, and now it's back again. And there's weird things like this, like I'd boxed in these stairs, and half the boxing in has vanished on that side. Same on this side. But there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's like these wheels of pain have been down there for ages. These predate the Flotsam Tavern by, many game days. I can understand, the last things you built disappearing. I mean, all the stuff I've got in my wheel menu here has gone, apart from these two things. I had loads more stuff in there. Loads of my stuff has disappeared from storage. I mean, it's not like the game has reverted to an earlier save, because like I said, things are out of order. And this reminds me of the bug I had on the Conan Exiles main map. If you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that I had quite a significant setup on the Conan Exiles main map. And then this bug attacked me, which meant that every time I logged in, I found things had vanished. Thralls would vanish, buildings would vanish, bits of buildings would vanish, and it looks like something similar is happening here. It's a right pain in the anus. As you can imagine, it's quite depressing You know, not actually depressing, but annoying. Jesus. Because, you know, I was quite looking forward to decorating this place, and I've got this platform here for my transportatory stone. I'd started going through my Tome of Curak, updating that. But no, it was not to be. Anyway, the thing is, I can't really trust the game anymore, I don't think. Not on the PS5. Yeah, half the stuff I had in here vanished. Ugh. Yeah, I can't really trust the game for the time being on the PS5, because I don't want to be, you know, logging in every day and wondering if everything's going to be here. It's just so dispiriting, really. So what I'm going to do is abandon this playthrough on Siptah, and I shall go back to the PC where I was in the middle. Well, I was doing a playthrough on the Savage Wilds map, which I was quite enjoying, but I didn't have time to do both. So I shall go back to that, and if you've not seen it, you'll be able to see the fortress I've built there. But no, it's a great shame. It's a great shame. The game seems to be very unstable, particularly on the PS5. I've heard a theory that a lot of the developers at Funcom are too busy working on the Dune Awakening game, and they've only got a skeleton crew looking after Siptah, and you know, I can believe that, but I can't play with the game at the moment, not on the PS5. So unfortunately, this is the last time you'll see Gaudia on a PS5 playthrough for a little while, until they bloody well fix it, thank you very much. Because as you can imagine, you know, I lost everything. I worked really hard to rebuild it, and now most of it has gone down the crapper. Most irritating. So, sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you've been following this series. Yet the next video you see will be me back, well, Gaudia, back on the Savage Wilds map. And yeah, I hope you'll join me there. When Dune Awakening finally kicks off, I should be playing that as well. So that's something to look forward to, hopefully. Anyhow, so long for now, and until I see you again, I shall say goodbye. Okay then, cheerio.